Good morning. I'm here again at the Wellesley Free Library, and we're going to have another summer story time. My name is Ms. Lee, and here we go. The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. For your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. Oh, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. Things for a star to do. Twinkle, 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 shine. I have an old song. I've changed a couple of words, but if you're probably older than your parents are, you might recognize it. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, save it for a rainy day. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, never let it fade away. For you may find you're outside in the dark with no light around. And just in case you need a little sunshine, you'll have a pocket full of starlight. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, save it for a rainy day. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, never let it fade away. Never let it fade away. How to Catch a Star by Oliver Jeffers. Once there was a boy, and the boy loved stars very much. Every night the boy watched the stars from his window and wished he had one of his very own. He dreamed of how this star would be his friend. They would play hide and go seek and take long walks together. The boy decided he would try to catch one. He thought that getting up early in the morning would be best, because then the star would be tired from being up in the sky all night. The next day he set out at sunrise, but he could not see a star anywhere. So he sat down and waited for one to appear. He waited and he waited, and ate lunch, and waited. And after dinner, he waited some more. Finally, just before the sun was about to go away, he saw a star. The boy tried to jump up and grab it, but he could not jump high enough. So very carefully, he climbed to the top of the tallest tree he could find. But the star was still way out of reach. He thought he might lasso the star with the life preserver from his father's boat, but it was much too heavy for him to carry. If only he could fly up in a spaceship and just grab the star. But the only spaceship he owned was made of paper, and it didn't fly well at all. Perhaps he could get a seagull to help him fly up into the sky to reach his star, but the only seagull he could find didn't want to help. The boy worried he would never catch a star, and just then he noticed something floating in the water. It was the prettiest star he had ever seen. Just a baby star. It must have fallen from the sky. He tried to fish it out with his hands, but when the boy reached out to touch the star, it just rippled through his fingers.
Now the boy was sad, but in his heart, the wish just wouldn't give up. Slowly, he began walking home. And that's when he saw it, washed up on the bright golden sand. The boy had caught a star of his very own.
Come be a star with me. I'm a little star that you adore. I sparkle, I shine, I twinkle some more. You can count your points along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you see.
Can You Catch a Falling Star? By Sidney, Rosen, illustrated by Dean Lindbergh. How can I catch a falling star? Hold on, let's get one thing straight. A falling star is not a star at all. It isn't? No, stars are huge burning balls of gas. The closest star, our sun, is 93 million miles away. But the trail of light you call a falling star is much closer than that. Scientists call that light trail a meteor. Sometimes meteors are also called shooting stars. If a meteor isn't a star, then what is it? It's a piece of space junk that has just zoomed close to the Earth. All around the Earth is a layer of gases called the atmosphere. When bits of rock and dust from space hit and rub against the atmosphere, that space junk burns white hot. You'll see a streak of white light in the sky before the space junk burns up or hits the ground. Anne Rockwell has written a book called Our Stars, and in this one, she shows us a little more. Streaks of light that look like faraway fireworks are meteors. We call them shooting stars. When meteors zoom close to the Earth, they usually burn up in the air. Sometimes one falls and makes a crater in the ground.
I'm really excited that we're going to be able to see some meteor showers next week. So on the night of August the 11th into the morning of the 12th, and the night of the 12th into the morning of the 13th, we're going to be able to see meteor showers, which means more than one falling star coming down. However, it's not easy. You have to be awake at midnight or maybe 3 a.m. in the morning. And then what you want to do is you want to go into your front yard where there are not too many lights around. And then you want to spread out a blanket and lie down on it, or if you have a chair that you can recline in, that will be good. And you need to put another blanket over you because it might be a little chilly in the middle of the night. Then after about 15 minutes, your eyes are accustomed to the darkness, and you can look up and you might be able to see not just one shooting star, but a number of shooting stars. But if it's raining or cloudy, it won't work. But I'm going to try, and so the next time I see you, I'll tell you if I saw any shooting stars.
The Story of the Milky Way, a Cherokee tale by Joseph Bruchak and Gail Ross, with paintings by Virginia Straud. This is what the old people told me when I was a child. Long ago, when the world was new, there were not many stars in the sky. In those days, the people depended on corn for their food. They would grind it and keep it in bins behind their homes. Bread made from the cornmeal kept them from starving during the long winter months. One morning, an old man and an old woman went to their bin for some cornmeal. What they found there upset them very much. The lid was off the bin, the level inside had dropped by a handspan, and there was cornmeal scattered over the ground. Surely no one in the village would steal from the elders. Who could the thief be? Now the old couple had a young grandson who loved them very much. When he heard about the stolen cornmeal, he decided he would be the one to catch the thief. That evening, when Grandmother Sun had gone to her rest and elder brother Moon was not yet in the sky, the boy went to his grandparents' home. He hid near the bin of cornmeal and waited. Late that night, the boy saw an eerie light coming across the fields. When it was closer, he saw it was in the shape of a great dog. The dog nosed the lid off the bin and began to eat. When it had eaten its fill of the cornmeal, the dog turned and ran through the woods into the night. The boy lay in his hiding place, not quite believing what his eyes had seen. But in the morning, in the cornmeal scattered around the bin, he saw the tracks of a giant dog. When the boy told the people what he had seen, no one knew what to do, so they decided to go to the beloved woman, a leader among the people. She was old and wise and understood many things. When the beloved woman looked at the tracks, she said, "These are the tracks of a creature like no dog on this earth. It's a spirit dog and may have great power. We must be very careful." The beloved woman instructed the people to gather all their drums and turtle shell rattles. "We will hide near the cornmeal bin and wait," she said. "When the giant dog comes, we will make a great noise. That will frighten it so badly it will never return." The people hurried to get their drums and rattlers. Then they hid near the old couple's cornmeal bin. It grew dark, and the few stars sparkled in the sky. Soon they saw the shining form of a great spirit dog coming across the fields. It was so big that many of the people were frightened and wanted to run, but the wise old woman whispered, "Do not be afraid, only wait for my signal." The great dog came to the bin and began to eat, filling its big mouth with the white cornfield. "Now," the beloved woman shouted. Then all the people rose up, beating their drums and shaking their rattles. The noise was as loud as the thunderer when he speaks. The great dog leaped in fear and began to run, but the people chased it, still beating their drums and shaking their rattles. On and on the great dog ran, white cornmeal spilling from its mouth. It ran until it came to the top of a hill, and then it leaped up into the sky. It ran across the sky until the people could see it no longer. But the cornmeal that had spilled from its mouth remained behind a great band of light across the night sky. Each grain of cornmeal that fell became a star. Just as the beloved woman had said, the great dog never returned to bother the people. But where it ran across the sky was left that pattern of stars the Cherokee call Galiutsun Stananyi, the place where the dog ran. That is how the Milky Way came to be.
It's time to say goodbye, but before we go, I want to share this book with you. It's called May Among the Stars, and it's a story that was inspired by the story of Mae Jemison, the first African-American astronaut, woman in space. When little Mae was just a child, she dreamed of dancing among billions of stars and floating and gliding and discovering. Her dream came true because she worked very hard to make it come true. Now, we're ready for our goodbye song. See you later, alligator, in a while, crocodile. Give a hug, ladybug, blow a kiss, jellyfish. See you soon, big baboon, out the door, dinosaur. Take care, polar bear, wave goodbye, butterfly. I will see you again next time, and I'm hoping that you've had a chance to at least look at the stars and make a wish, whether you see the shooting stars or not.